How's everyone doing? Today I'll be showing you random horror DVD shelf number 3. And as always, if you've seen these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them as well. And again, these DVDs are in no particular order. I just put them on the shelves to get them off the floor. And as you can see, I still have a ton on the floor right there. And over that way in the closet, there's some basically everywhere. There's some in that closet as well. I still have some to bring over still too. So yeah, and then I'm going to put, again, another bookcase there and another bookcase there. So hopefully that will get everything off the floor. And I want to get 2 extra shelves for each bookcase as well. But let's go ahead and check out this random horror DVD shelf number 3. And first up is Howard Hawks' The Thing from Another World, which is another adaptation. And John Carpenter's The Thing right here, which is my all-time favorite movie. Again, fantastic directing from Carpenter, fantastic cinematography from Dean Cundey, Ennio Morricone's score, just that sense of isolation and paranoia, just everything about it works for me. Fantastic sci-fi horror film. I can't say enough great things about this movie. I know I've talked about it endlessly on my channel right here, but love that film. The Toxic Avenger, this is the director's cut featuring the full head-crushing scene. Trauma. Transylvania 5000 with Gina Davis, Jeff Goldblum, Ed Begley Jr., and Michael Richards as well. Werewolf Fever. Who Can Kill a Child, also known as Island of the Damned, which is a more apt title in my opinion. I prefer that title way over Who Can Kill a Child. But this is such a fantastic film, very underrated, and I rarely hear anybody talk about it. It's one of my all-time favorite films. This is the best evil killer kid movie in my opinion. Highly recommend this one. The Willies, which is a pretty cool, kind of like a child horror anthology movie, more geared towards the younger, but it did freak me out when I was a kid, especially a creature right there has Sean Astin in it, and this is the one that came with a free bonus music CD inside. Scary Sounds of the Night. The Witchery, which has David Hasselhoff and Linda Blair. Wolfane. And I thought this was actually really well made and very thrilling. Gregory Hines right there, may he rest in peace. Great cast in here all around. I really liked Albert Finney. And this is, it's not really, from what I remember, it's not really werewolves. It was kind of like a Native American folklore where they could like shapeshift into wolves or something like that. It's been a while since I've seen it. I think Edward James Olmos was in here. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a long time since I've seen this one. I don't see him on the back right here, though. But I think he was in here. It's been a while. But really enjoyable movie, though. Extro and Extro 2, the special edition. Twice the Terror. Again, Alien and Alien Abduction movies freak me out. This one freaked me out before, too, when I was younger. Extro. And this right here is the 8 movie pack horror collection. I got this because at the time it was the only way you could get an actual release for Ghoulies 3 and Chud 2 and 976 Evil 2. No, actually, I think there was a UK release for Ghoulies 3. Ghoulies Go to College. But I think Chud 2, and there was 2 for Chud 2. I guess the UK gets everything. But this is the first time we could get it over here in the US for 976 Evil 2, Chud 2, and Ghoulies 3. And I'm not sure about the Unholy. I haven't seen that one yet, actually. But Chopping Mall had a release. Waxwork had a release. Slaughter High had a release. And I think Class of 1999 had a release here already. And I wish they would put all of these out on, single releases. Especially Chud 2. And I hope they do that for Blood Diner. I know that was another one that was released on one of these different kind of multi-pack ones. And I think Blood Diner deserves a Blu-ray release as well. I'd love to see somebody like Scream Factory or Arrow put that out because it definitely deserves it. One of my all-time favorite horror comedy movies. Just super cheesy, great 80s horror, and I absolutely love it. If you haven't seen Blood Diner, definitely check that out. I have that around here somewhere. I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's on this shelf or not, but it's definitely a great one to check out. I know I've mentioned it before. This is the Zombie Pack 2. 3 blood-splattered zombie classics, includes Burial Ground, Flesh Eater, and Zombie Holocaust. The Uninvited Guest, which is a fantastic film that I never really hear anybody talk about. In fact, I haven't heard anybody talk about this, period. Again, this is a Spanish film, and it's super creepy and atmospheric. That was kind of like a mixture right there. But yeah, it's basically about this guy who lets somebody in to use the phone in his new house that he designed, and the guy disappears, and he can't find him. And then he starts hearing things, and he thinks the guy might be living in like the walls, and he's freaking out. It's not sure if it's, he's going crazy, if it's actually happening. So there's a lot of paranoia in there, and really love this one, The Uninvited Guest. Session 9 was one when I first watched it, I wasn't really feeling it, and then I gave it a rewatch because so many people were like, come on, give it another chance, so I did, and then I ended up loving it, so I'm thankful that I did. That's one of those movies that, gets better after every rewatch, and now I love the heck out of it, and more people should check out Session 9, great psychological horror there. And, the cast that had David Caruso, I always think of him now from CSI Miami, and it's just, some of that is just so cheesy, but he was decent in this one, and a couple other recognizable faces in here too. Zombie Babies. This, I loved the concept to this movie, but the editing was just atrocious. Some of the worst editing I've seen. The green screen and the audio was off, but I love the concept. It was cheesy fun. This movie could have been so much better. I don't know if it was just if it needed a more competent crew or what the deal was, but again, the editing was just terrible. I'd love to see this be remade with a bigger budget. Maybe that would help. But I know Cool Duder was in. There's one of the zombie babies right there. I know Cool Duder was in here, and the girl that he was paired up with, I'm not sure. I think it might have been Ruby LaRocca. I'm not 100% sure, but she was fantastic in this. She was super hot in this. So yeah, I'm keeping it in there because I love the cheesy concept to it, and there was some fun moments in there. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is the remake right here, and Arlie Emery signed this, and he put Semper Fi right there for the Marines. And I really loved his character in here as the sheriff. And I personally, I like the beginning a little bit better, but I do enjoy the remake a lot. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. Creepshow. This is the old Snapper case, which I was able to get signed up by Tom Savini. And I hear he's a jerk when he does like conventions and stuff. I've heard many stories of people saying how rude he was. People saying he wouldn't sign on the cover, he'll sign on the back, or he'll sign on black ink on a black cover or something like that, not using different Sharpies. And I don't know. I've heard he was just kind of rude, but I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those times where you kind of have a bad day every single day. No, just kidding. But he's still, obviously a legend, so happy to have that in my collection. I love Creepshow, great horror anthology. Interview with the Vampire. I know a lot of people crap on this one, but I've always enjoyed it. Silent Warnings. Again, I love, alien abduction type movies, so it's low budget. It was kind of like I remember seeing this on the Sci-Fi Channel one night really late in the morning, like 2 or 3 in the morning. I had Stephen Baldwin and Billy Zane in there, and there's some creepy scenes in here. I like the one part where they go, I think it's in the attic, and they have the jars. I really enjoyed this one. Again, it would help if you're into alien abduction movies. Scarce, which was a low-budget kind of a slasher, backwoods slasher in the snowy woods. I think it was in Pennsylvania is where it was, but I think it was filmed in Canada. They're coming back from like a ski trip or something. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember not caring for the movie itself at all. And even though I didn't care for the movie, for some reason I decided to watch the special features on here, and I watched the making of Scarce called Frostbitten, that bonus feature right there, and I'm so glad I did, and that is really the main reason that I'm keeping Scarce for Frostbitten, the making of Scarce. Fantastic making of that I think everybody who is interested in making a low-budget horror film should definitely watch. It shows you all the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into making a film. And it definitely made me appreciate low-budget horror movies. But again, I still didn't love the movie. But that making of feature right there was fantastic and definitely worth keeping in my collection for that. Next up from the Warner Archive collection is Bad Ronald. Definitely one of the best made-for-TV horror movies. Really creepy, and That's another one where I don't really hear a lot of people talk about them. I'm going to do my whole top 10 made-for-TV horror movie list coming up soon. From a Whisper to a Scream, fantastic horror anthology again. And this one has a really great segment with creepy kids in here, like the Civil War one. And that's one of my favorite creepy evil killer kid segments or movies right there. I'm gonna include it because of that segment. Kingdom of the Spiders with William Shatner. Burning Bright, which I think is underrated. I rarely hear anybody talk about this one as well. They're trapped inside a house with a big tiger right there. There's a storm going on outside as well, so nobody can get to them. And the one that's a sister and brother right there. The brother has like a learning disability, I believe. So she's got to watch out for both of them. And I thought that was actually a really good one with some good tension. And next up is the Arrow release for Blood Feast 2. Pontypool, which I'm keeping. I have the Blu-ray for this. I'm keeping which is an import, by the way. I'm keeping the DVD because this is when I first, heard of it, came of it. I heard nothing about it at the time. I was at Blockbuster, and I was like, all right, this looks kind of interesting. I like Stephen McHattie, and I was like, all right, shut up or die. You've got me intrigued with that tagline. So I never heard anybody talk about it. I watched it. I loved it. I fell in love with this movie. Great performance from Stephen McHattie. Great psychological horror, and again, it's just an incredible movie. It's not really a zombie movie. It's an infected movie. And I really love what they did with it, and it kind of lets the viewer's imagination run wild. The only criticism I have about the movie is the final scene, which is kind of weird, but the rest of the movie is fantastic. So I'm keeping it for the memories. Plus, Blockbuster isn't around anymore, so. Stage Fright, Michelle Sauvé's, which I think is getting a Blu-ray release now, or was already released on Blu-ray. Have to look into that, see if it's worth upgrading special feature and transfer-wise, because a lot of times they botch the transfer or they don't have all the special features. There's really nothing special features on here-wise, so that's not necessarily the case. I guess it's more transfer case for this one, but a lot of times they don't port over the special features, which annoys the heck out of me. I've had to keep DVDs just for the special features before because it's a movie that I enjoy and I like the special features. So, and next up is Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead. I really enjoy this film. I think it's one of the better horror remakes out there, and I love the cast. I thought Patricia Tallman was fantastic, as well as Tony Todd. And I know there was a lot of issues with the transfer for the Twilight Time Blu-ray, which I don't know why they decided to, change the look of the film. And I'm going to hold on to my DVD of it right there. If you're a fan of the original and they change something like that, light to day and, or light to dark and vice versa, that's something that can throw off your whole experience, especially if you are a fan of the movie for a while. If you haven't seen the movie, it might not affect you as much, but yeah, that's another one of those cases with transfer issues. Here's the double feature of Village of the Damned and Children of the Damned right there. Classics. Evil killer kid movies. That's one of the things that freak me out the most. The alien abduction movies, creepy evil killer dolls, and creepy evil killer kids. Those are the ones that freak me out the most. Bad Dreams right here, which I think is on a double feature Blu-ray release, but really enjoy this one. It's been a while since I've seen it. Definitely need to check it out again. I really enjoyed the cast in here too. Jennifer Rubin. I think Jennifer Rubin doesn't get quite enough credit. You've got Dean Cameron in here. They actually acknowledge it right there on the back. Summer School, which is one that I absolutely love. If you haven't checked out Summer School, it's not a horror movie, but it's a 80s comedy movie where Dean Cameron's character, Chainsaw and Dave, there were two characters in there that were really obsessed with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So there are some horror moments in there. There's a really awesome horror scene in there when they're freaking out a substitute teacher and they use all these, practical effects, and that scene was just awesome. And Summer School is one of my all-time favorites, and I really like Jennifer Rubin as well. And Bad Dreams right there. Them, which is 58 or 59. 1954. I was off by a few years. Thought it was 58 or 59, but it's 54. Classic sci-fi giant killer ant movie. Completely awesome, and look at that. Just love this one. Again, deals with radiation. It's, that whole time when it was all about nuclear wars and things like that possibly happening. And here's a Squirm right there. I know this has a Arrow video release on Blu-ray, which I do want to pick up. This is cheesy fun. I remember enjoying it. Dance of the Dead is one that I never hear anybody talk about. It's a Ghost House Underground release. Fantastic zomcom. There's a zombie makeout scene in here. I just really love this film. Just tons of entertainment right there. Mothman Prophecies, which creeped me the heck out. This one is just so eerie and atmospheric. I love it. Richard Gere and Laura Linney right here. If you haven't seen this one, highly recommend it. You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You, kind of an urban horror movie, if you will. That's what it's classified under. Basically, people are killing rappers, from what I remember. It wasn't great, but it was decent enough to keep me interested in it. And I really like the one actor in here. Excuse me, the one actor in here, the lead actor, did a really good job. It's Alive, It's Alive 2, and It's Alive 3. This is the triple feature, which freaky, evil, creepy baby monster right there. The remake I did not care for at all. The remake came out a few years ago, and whatever happened to Aunt Alice? Tokyo Zombie, which I don't hear people talk about either. This is a really entertaining zomcom as well. Some very entertaining moments in here. And there's one scene that kind of didn't seem to fit. There was like a quick animated scene from what I remember, which I always thought didn't really fit for it, but really enjoy that film. House. I actually got the chance to interview William Katz for another movie, Ian Sparks, which was an enjoyable movie as well. But you know, William Katz been around for a long time. American Hero and House and a bunch of other stuff that he's done. But I always enjoyed the cast here. George Wendt, Richard Mall, so entertaining. Lost Souls with Winona Ryder and Ben Chaplin. One Missed Call trilogy. Bio-Zombie. Sorry for the glare. Maximum Overdrive, Stephen King adaptation right there with Emilio Estevez. And this is the Anchor Bay edition where it has the body coming out of the grill right there and the blood. This is actually a hard one to find because they re-released it without that because obviously it was offensive. And people are offended easily. But yeah, I've always enjoyed this film. And there's the Green Goblin right there on the front of the truck. And Stephen King made an appearance in the beginning of this movie. I think he was at the ATM. But yeah, machines going crazy and attacking people. This is The Hills Have Eyes. This was, I think it was a Best Buy exclusive, but it was the Blood Pack edition. You can kind of see that little bubble right there. The liquid. Yeah, that's one thing about American releases for the blood packs. The blood dries up super quickly. You can see some of the blood like right there. It's all dried up though. But yeah, it's all liquid now. The international blood packs, I don't know what they do, but Americans need to figure out how they're doing because the international ones retain their blood. I've had international blood pack releases for years now, and they still have their blood. While the U.S. ones like Itchy the Killer and The Hills Have Eyes and the Saw one, they all dry up super quick. But The Hills Have Eyes is also one of the better horror remakes out there. Alexandra Aja was fantastic, super gritty and dirty and raw. To me, I like it just as much as the original. Dress to Kill, which I was able to get signed up right here by Nancy Allen, which was really cool. One of my friends on here helped me get that when he went to a convention. Really appreciate that. Jordan, JRDNR87. And yeah, big fan of this film. I do want to get the Blu-ray. I like the Blu-ray cover better, but love this film. And Michael Caine was awesome in it. And When a Stranger Calls, which I was able to get signed up by the lead actress Camilla Bell. This is the remake. I thought it was actually pretty decent. It wasn't great, but had some good tension, and I like Camilla Bell in it. Killer Clowns from Outer Space with the lenticular cover right there. So, I don't know. I have like so many editions of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I've got a signed DVD. I've got a signed Blu-ray of it. And I've got this lenticular cover, and I'm going to keep it because I'm a big fan of the movie. I grew up watching it, and when I was younger, it freaked me out. But I just love how cheesy and fun it is now. And this is the lenticular cover for Returning Living Dead, which I kind of hate that cover. I like the old classic cover, like the punk rock looking zombies right there. And, well, not, you know, it's a punk rock look with the characters up there in the zombie form. But it fits the punk rock theme of the music and everything. This one is just kind of very generic, but lenticular cover, I'm a sucker for it, and I do love the heck out of the movie. Mosquito, which has Gunnar Hansen, super cheesy. This is one that I don't necessarily love, but it has some super cheesy fun scenes in it. And this is out of print, goes for ridiculous money now, but it's just giant mosquitoes killing people. There's a couple scenes that are just hilarious and super cheesy horror fun, you know, heads exploding and people just getting killed by these giant mosquitoes. I think there was a scene, I can't remember, there's some kind of weird sexual scene with a mosquito attacking them or something. It's been a while since I've seen it, but cheesy fun. Not my favorite, but some really, some scenes in there that make it worth keeping in the collection. The Strangers, which I'm not a huge fan of this movie. I'm gonna actually, I haven't seen, I think it was I can't remember which version. I saw one of the versions, but not the other version. I think it was the theatrical version that I did see or didn't see, but I don't know. I'm going to rewatch this one and watch, I guess, the unrated version, because remember when I watched the theatrical version, I was really disappointed with it, and I don't know. I was expecting, this is one of my ones where I was most disappointed from, I was looking forward to the most from the trailer. I was really excited from that trailer, and then I saw it and I was just really let down. It just didn't do anything for me. I thought the ending was a huge letdown. There's really no tension or suspense for me personally. Just people hanging around, and I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. But it was also very much like the movie Them, a French film, which I would highly recommend. Way better than The Strangers. I think The Strangers just kind of ripped off the movie Them. Them is way better. It has a better payoff at the end. It just works overall. Has actual tension and suspense. But I'm going to rewatch The Strangers, the unrated version, to see if that helps at all, hopefully, maybe a little bit. But I know everybody loves The Strangers. I'm just not one of those people. But I'm going to give it one more chance. One more chance. I've seen it, I think, twice before, but I think they're both the theatrical versions. So, there we go. There is Random Horror DVD Shelf number 3. Sorry for rambling. And again, if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them. And let me know what you think of these Random Horror DVD Shelf videos. If you want to see more of them, let me know. And I hope everyone's doing well. Take care.
Sublime, sublime.